Hi, Steve Gerzeni again from Coach House, and today we've got something very special. I've got my nephew Zack here, and he's Dave, my older brother's son, and Zack's been with us since
My entire life, but 13 years employed at Coach House.
13 years. And what I wanted to do is have Zack introduce himself and kind of what his background is, and then we want to get into some particulars on how Coach House is manufactured. So Zack, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I've been employed with Coach House for 13 years. Pretty much have critiqued my entire life around eventually working here. So far success, and continuing to work here and continue to help build the company and build the legacy. My background, I've got all kinds of different things I got a background in. Anything from off-roading to powerboat racing to anything under the sun. When I'm not here, I'm wrenching or building something. So it really was an excellent fit to be here at Coach House.
Yeah, that's cool. And your background education-wise?
So I've obviously completed high school, and then I did 2 years of community college, and then I completed a bachelor's degree from USF of Sarasota.
Yeah, awesome. So Zack's got a really good background in all kinds of motorized stuff and things like that. But Zack, what makes Coach House so different in our build process?
I would say what makes us so different in our build process is the attention to detail and the quality. You can tell very quickly if you tour any of the other manufacturing plants, there's a drastic difference in how we do things and how much of the other builders in the industry do things. We take our time, all of our employees take pride in everything they do. Everything's handcrafted, and they really take, that's the best way to put it, is they take pride in their work to where it's not too common in today's age.
Yep. So what is, we build a one-piece fiberglass bodied motorhome. Why do you think that's important?
Well, for one, you're not going to have to go sealing all these body panels and everything every year. And the only penetrations in the coach, the only resealing that will need to take place is penetrations that we made for the various devices on the roof or the exterior of the coach. So it really eliminates all those squeaks and rattles and eliminates a lot of those potentials for water leaks.
Now, how do we lay that body up? Because I think that's a very important point with people too.
Well, it's all hand laid. That way we can control the thickness of the body, and also we can, again, control the quality of the body. It's all hand laid. All of our fiberglass employees, they take their time when they're doing that skin coat, and they go through and hand roll it all out with flashlights. They're making sure every little bit of air is out of that body and making sure it's as strong as it could possibly be while still being as efficient as it could possibly be in the build process.
And we, at the very end of that, and all the structural points, what do we do in all those structural turns and radiuses inside those?
We lay up carbon fiber.
And what does that do for us?
Adds a lot of strength. You obviously get a ton of strength from your fiberglass mat itself, but the carbon fiber is just that extra little bit, that extra little punch to give you the strength you need in those important areas.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's one of the things that we really are proud of is our one-piece fiberglass body motorhomes. There's nobody else in the industry that builds them this way. We actually have patents on it, so that we're not only protecting ourselves, but we're protecting you as a customer. Being a handmade vehicle versus a production line, what does that mean to the customer?
Again, it goes back to quality, the fit and finish on your product. I mean, take a look at an RV show. It's not rocket science to look at it. Look at the little details, look at all the fine tuning that we do, and even just look at the cabinetry, the fitment of everything. It's going to be drastically different in a Coach House as opposed to anything else in the industry.
Yeah, because most of the RVs are kind of built on a rail chassis where they're running a vehicle down the assembly line, and guys are working from the outside in, and then the body panels typically go up last. So in our application, the bodies go on first, so that when we build inside those coaches, the fit and finish is second to none.
Exactly. I mean, That's very well put. Also, I mean, it does limit us, and that's why our production numbers might not be as high as some of the other builders in the industry, because all of our workers, when they're building the interior of that coach, they're going in and out of one doorway, as opposed to the way you described. You can have workers coming at it from all angles, building at it from the back, from the front, from the sides, from the top, if you want to get creative. And when you tour some of those, if you were to ever be interested in touring some of those other manufacturers, you'll see how fast they're going. They're getting those numbers out, but there's a reason their quality is what it is. They're moving so fast. If a screw is a little bit one way or a little bit that way, or maybe didn't go in just right, that coach is moving because they're trying to get their numbers where we're trying to get numbers as well, but our main focus is quality and repeat customers.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in 40 years of doing this, 41 years of doing this, we've had people buy 5, 6, 7 platinums. They won't buy anything else. And that kind of, I often tell people, you cannot buy a reputation, you have to earn it. And I think with this process and the way we build these things, our focus is on the customer at the end of the day. We want you all to be very, very happy with our coaches. Now, Zach, we were in, and this is kind of going off what we were talking about a little bit, but we were into Firefly for a while.
Yes.
And Firefly is that multiplex wiring system. Mm-hmm. In your professional opinion, going to an analog did what?
I think it definitely increased our reliability of our units and the simplicity of operation, and I think simplicity as far as serviceability as well. Yeah, exactly. When you've got this multiplex system, it's the newest, greatest, latest bell and whistle, the greatest technology, but as you've said many times, when you flip a switch on in a building, you don't have to wonder whether or not that switch is going to actually engage that light, because it's analog and it's a very simple system. When you've got a multiplex system, you've got programming issues that are a potential problem, and a lot of other things that are entangled with that multiplex system. It does have its benefits, but if you want reliability and longevity, the way we're doing it, I think there's no other option.
Especially on the road, when these things are running down the road, and they call them an earthquake running down the road, where they're vibrating, bouncing down the road. Mm-hmm. And we found with that multiplex wiring system that was a single point failure, right?
Not only
is that what's keeping us up at night.
Well, not only single point failure, but also if there ever is a challenge, you get a lot of finger pointing going on.
That's right.
You get manufacturers of one device saying, well, it's not my device, it's this other device. Well, it's not that device, it's this device. Going back to the analog system the way we did, it saw every panel that we use to monitor a certain system is from that manufacturer. So you've got a single point, single source, single company to go back to in the event you do have an issue.
And one of the cool things we're seeing with this technology moving forward as well, even though we're analog, a lot of our vendors or suppliers have apps for their devices.
Exactly.
Right? So it's really kind of the same thing, but the app is cool. If you want to operate your air conditioner per se, you can use an app for it. Your generator, you have an app for it. So it's not in one point. It's in multiple points. And I think that's really super cool. Our goal is to keep you on the road. Zach, tell us a little bit about our employees here. About how many people do we employ on average?
So on average, we've got about 75 employees on the shop floor and then another 10 or so in the office. And our average term of employment right now because we've expanded a little bit and added some employees. And through COVID, we all know what happened with COVID. Some of our a little bit elderly employees that have been with us for many, many years gave us much of their time. Some of them decided to retire and whatnot because of health concerns. So because of that, our average term of employment is down to about 6 years or so, but all of our team leaders have been with us for quite some time, and they're very seasoned, very educated employees that know our product inside and out.
Yeah, we've lost a lot of people, as you said, been with us 25, 27, 29 years of their lives here at Coach House.
We actually have another employee that's been with us. I just was talking to him earlier today. And next month, he's going to hit 33 years with us. 33 years. 33 years.
Yeah, so that's cool. We try to treat our people right. The term boss does not exist at Coach House. We all work together. If we got to pick up a broom, we're going to pick up a broom. If they need help setting a cabinet, we'll help set a cabinet. Whatever it takes to keep this product the best that we can. Now, Zach, other factors that people consider when they buy RVs is pricing. And I know we're higher than most. Some of the things we already talked about, such as the one-piece body, which is a huge undertaking. You have multiple millions of dollars in one mold to create these bodies. But beyond that, what drives our price of these vehicles?
Well, because we don't use inferior products. That's the biggest thing. We try to stick with American made as much as humanly possible. We stick with name brand products. We're not going to go on Amazon and find the cheapest thing to throw in your coach. We're going to use products from manufacturers that have a good reputation, that are reliable, and are going to be there when we call on them if we need anything.
That's a wonderful answer. Plywoods, things of that nature. We talk about that in some of the other videos. It's called light ply that we're using now, correct?
Correct.
And what's the advantages of that?
Over some of the inferior products, we use something more like particle board.
Exactly.
Particle board. Anybody that's got experience with some IKEA furniture or something like that, as soon as you get a little bit of wetness to it, you are in for a real mess. And more than likely, that device or that item is not going to be salvageable. You're going to have to just replace it. It's disposable. With the way we build our units, with a nice marine grade plywood and the upper echelon as far as the materials that we use, say you have a little accident here or there, you spill something here or there, you don't have to worry about your cabinet just crumbling right as you watch it, delaminating, glues coming apart. You don't have to worry about any of that because we use superior products.
Now, how do we put our cabinets together? I think that's pretty cool.
So, we've got a full CNC automated router. Once the CNC router has been programmed from our engineers that we have here on staff, they actually send the programming to our cabinet shop. Our CNC cuts out all the different pieces, and then we've got 2 assemblers that go through and actually hand build each piece of the cabinetry. Once everything's built, then we laminate the faces that are still bare, and then our installers go through and take their time installing them.
Now, some of the things we've used for 40 years, you hit on it, is a laminate. Explain a little bit why we use the laminates.
Laminates, again, because they're superior quality. A lot of it just keeps going. We keep driving that home. Quality, quality, quality. You want a quality coach, you have to have quality products to have a quality coach. To have our laminate will withstand the different changes in temperature. It'll stay glued. You won't have to worry about it peeling off or the corners starting to peel up. I don't know if you've seen that on some of the inferior cabinetry where the paper kind of covering on it, it starts to peel around the corners. You're not going to have any of those sorts of issues with a Coach House Platinum.
Yeah, they don't hold cooking odors. They don't sun fade. They're easy to clean. We tell people when they ask about cleaners, take a bottle of Glass Plus with you. You can not only clean all your cabinets, your sinks, and clean your windows.
Of course.
Very, very simple.
Well, also you keep in mind, if you go in some of the other competing brands, you walk in their coach, and the smell of that glue will hit you like a freight train.
And formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde, and again, the somewhat inferior products, you're not going to have that with a Coach House.
That's right. We sourced all of our wood products so that they have a very low VOC, and they're CARB 2 rated, meaning California Air Resource Board 2nd generation for formaldehyde content. So when you walk in a Coach House on a hot summer day, we build them in Florida, your eyes aren't going to start watering, your throat's not going to clog up like you've got a bad allergy to something. Formaldehyde content is virtually non-existent in our coaches, which makes it really, really nice. As part of the Grzeny family, what's your approach here?
My approach here? Well, I would say definitely being part of the Grzeny family, I've got to be held to quite a bit higher standard than any other employee that's coming through the door, because I really take pride in it. I mean, it's not just a business, it's not just a job for me. This is a career. I'm trying to help build the wonderful company that you and Dave had already created. I'm super fortunate that I'm able to have that opportunity to get involved with it, and I want to see it grow and continue to improve and continue to innovate and continue to earn our spot in the RV market.
That's a good answer. Well, Zach, it's been a pleasure. And we love working with this guy. He's very, very smart. He keeps all of our 75 to 80 employees under control here. And again, check us out, Coach House Motorhomes. We've been around for 40 years. We're a good family-run business. 3rd generation coming through right now. So thank you for your time.
40 years and 40 years more,
That's
at least.
Right. There you go.